Good, good. Here's your lesson plan.
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back. It's Monday, and it means Doors of Dunera. So before we hop back in, first of all, please check out all of the links in chat that are coming in very soon, and also a huge thanks to our sponsors. One of them, Bird in the Storm, get a mug the size of my head, and also check out all of the other links in there, and also Mage Hand Press, and you can see one of the campaigns where we use their material. I want to say on Thursday, we'll say Thursday, but that's where you can find it, but their links are in chat. Other than that, let's hop around and just say hi to all these lovely faces, and we will start with, let's go Julie this week. Let's start with Julie.
Hello, I'm Julie. I go by J Graveheart just about everywhere online, and for this game I play Charlie, who's a magic user who's a little secretive, and eventually we'll find out more about her. It's fun. Take our time.
Because we can do that.
We can do that.
We can do that. And then we're going to hop down to the lovely V. Hi, V.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm V. I'm the Crafting Muse. You can find me over on YouTube and especially here on Twitter. And tonight I am excited to jump back into playing Nadi. She's also a magic user, and she has her little otter familiar. His name is Prema.
Perfect. Thank you. And then we're going to hop over to the lovely Tool School. Oh, hi.
Hey, how are you doing? It's like I've been waiting all day for my little doorway to Narnia to open up for me to go and play in this wonderful city again. And now it has, and here we all are. I'll be playing Toland Folk, who is he's probably not enjoying the city as much as I am, but we will see. It's still a super pleasure to be here. You can find me as Tall Squall all over social media.
Perfect. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay. You can find me at JGonsGold on Twitter. And you can find my music on this channel, on this show, and on Before the Darks on Wednesday. And I play Paula. Right, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I play Paula Packer, the librarian and dancer of our group. And yeah, and I'm super excited to do some exploring today and chill out a bit.
Chill out and see what Felonius is destroying today. My Felonius has just left the room, so I should be okay for a bit. Other than that, last week we met a few NPCs. We met Aggie, who is a force of nature in herself, in kind of a cute way. We also met two of Charlie's friends, one that worked at the sandwich shop and one that worked in the flower sort of greenery sort of shop that they worked in. We also met Deacon Marks, not quite as happy as the others, a little bit of a grump. And Paul Poller was the one who first met this character. And after the day was done, Tolan was at the coffee shop, Charlie was out and about, and Nadie and Poller all looked up at the sky and they saw like a shimmer, like color, like oil sort of resting on top of water. Both Nadie and Poller could tell from where they were that it was moving slightly. Not quickly, but it was almost like it was growing. However, no one else seems to have fully noticed this. And that is where we're going to jump back in, where I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Poller was on her way to the cabaret.
Yes. I think Paula was going to take Nadie to the cabaret because Paula wanted to introduce Nadie to her boss, Niles. But after seeing this shimmer, hey, Nadie, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes, that's not normal.
I mean, maybe it's like some kind of weird rainbow or something.
I mean, I've seen rainbows and clouds before. They're very pretty, but I don't know if it's so much rainbow and cloud as much as like, you know, film in sky. Like it reminds me of what you see on the pavement with oil, but it's been put up in the sky.
Yeah, that is kind of what it looks like, right?
A little bit. It's very odd.
I mean, I know they're always doing weird like experiments and whatnot in the university, so maybe it has something to do with that.
Maybe someone's magic went a little awry and went boom, and that's it up there.
Maybe. Or maybe, well, I hope it doesn't have anything to do with the whole tram thing.
I hope not.
Although I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it's not exactly comforting, but maybe just keep an eye on it, see if it stays where it is, and then, I mean, I'm sure working in a library, university, you know people you could talk to and say, hey, there's something funny going on up there. I mean, just saying. Yeah,
there's probably some people I could talk to. In fact, I could probably do some of my own research, and maybe next time you're around, you could help me look stuff up, see if there's anything.
Hey, I need excuse to look in a book. Yeah, definitely.
I think for now, though, there's probably. I mean, I have a shift at the cabaret, so it's not really a great time.
We're still gonna go, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, no, you should tag along and I can introduce you to Niles, and maybe you could show him what you got.
I mean, I don't have too much with me. I gave him my last terrarium.
No, Nadi. I mean, like, you're dancing. You're a really good dancer. So.
Oh, okay, that would be fun. Yes, let's go meet Niles. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go meet. This will be fun.
Okay, so you can head down the main street, and could you both make me an intellect roll? Just straight up, difference of 2. Just a straight up difference of 2.
I will when Roll20 doesn't freeze up on me and my computer go stall mode. This is a night.
I mean, I think I did pretty well in this roll.
I was gonna say, wow. First roll.
Ooh, hold on. Oh, it booted me out. Let's go with Paula's while we wait for me to get back into Roll20.
So, Paula, as you're leading the way on this, you're guiding Nadine down the street you know all too well. And up ahead, you can see a man you recognize, a man who visited you at the library in those same church robes. And he seems to be shouting. You can't quite hear exactly what he's saying, but from his body language and the yelling, you can hear almost like that muffled noise, and he is shouting at someone. In fact, you see a fairly tanned young man, quite tall, broad in the shoulders. He's wearing sort of a loose white shirt with very bright and colourful, multicolored braces, holding up a pair of sort of high-waisted trousers. And these braces, you can see the colours swirl as they go. Very heavy boots. And this man, who you can guess is probably around 33, 35 years old, is standing there. He's got his electric blue, fairly scruffy hair just sort of pushed back as Deacon Marks screams at him. Deacon Marks is a little bit shorter, not too much, but he is yelling at this young man who is clutching a lot of papers, and you could see him sort of leaning back almost at the strength of this argument. He says nothing as he stares there blankly at this man, and you can hear the screaming, and you see Deacon Mark snatch some of these papers out of this man's hand, tearing them up and throwing them aside as he keeps his hands where they were, holding onto the paper. He offers a smirk towards the deacon, but just stands there and lets him do it as this argument is happening, before Deacon Mark storms off and just on the way stamps on some of the papers that have dropped to the floor. And the man looks down, and as soon as Deacon Marks turns away, you do see a sad expression on this man's face as he sort of runs his hands through his very vibrant blue hair. You see him sigh and start to pick up some of the papers.
I'm gonna scurry over as fast as I can and start helping him pick up the papers. I'm so sorry that happened. What was that about?
Upon seeing you, you could see this almost like a flash of a smile immediately comes across his face. You can tell it's semi-fake, like it's quickly put it on, son. Hopes you didn't see the frown. He's like, thank you. He's a bit of an asshole. It's okay. I deal with him often. But thank you.
I'm gonna try to kind of glance at what the papers say. Like, what are?
As he sees you sort of looking down, he's like, "Would you like one? It's for the Nightmarket. It goes on well into the early hours. You should come along. It's so good."
Tonight?
Until the early hours, we go on for ages. You should come. I'm a storyteller. You can come and see me tell my story. I will be by one of the market stalls, but I'll be in the square.
Hey, Nadi, did you hear this? This guy, I'm going to kind of like wave Nadi over. This guy tells stories.
Yes. Hello, I'm Nadi.
It is lovely to meet you. Yes, I tell stories, me and my little, and you see this sort of, again, almost the same color as his hair, this electric blue ferret crawl out from underneath his shirt, who looks like he's been hiding. Or I should say she's been hiding. And he looks, he's like, "Oh, this is Sophia. She helps me tell my stories. I see you have one too," and looks over at Nadine.
Oh yes, this is Prima. And Prima will sort of like swirl around and kind of poke his head over her shoulder and just sort of chitter and kind of tilt his head, kind of taking everything in. But you tell stories?
I tell stories. You should both come. Have you not been to the Nightmarket before? I mean, we come here just before the season 3 changes.
Oh,
I haven't been.
That sounds so lovely. Can we go, Paula?
I mean, I can go after my shift at the cabaret. It sounds like they're going to be open all night. So
into the early hours of the morning, we'll be there all night. It's brilliant. There's food, there's drink, there's market stands, there's music, and I've heard there's the best storyteller that there is there. But you can come along to see me
You seem like you'd be a really good storyteller.
I am. And he's just sort of gives a bit of a smile and sort of straightens out his braces. Though you think he's probably running his thumbs underneath them nervously, not out of confidence.
Well, I can't wait because I've never been and I love stories. Stories are great.
Oh yes, it's my part-time job, but it's my favorite job. It is my favorite job.
I don't blame you. I work in a library, so I'm surrounded by stories all the time and they never get old.
You work in a library?
You should see her library. Her library is beautiful. It's like books, literally books you could not even imagine.
Oh my God,
It's wonderful.
Oh my God, Nadine, you don't have to.
No, Paula, it's very true. Like everyone needs to get to your library and check it out at least once because that's just like, I've never seen anything so wonderful in my life.
It's a nice library, I guess.
I've never been to a library, like a proper one. I've been to bookshops. I used to go sit in the corners of the bookshops and just read and read until I finished each one. But I've never been to a library.
Yeah, see, same like me. And then she says, come to my library. I'm like, okay, I go to her library. I go to her library and it's like jaw on floor, eyes wide open, and it'll take your breath away. And I bet even you, Mr. Storyteller, won't have words to speak about it.
I'm Paula, by the way. And I used to come
hi. And he holds out his hand and shakes it quite firmly, like in a friendly. He takes his second hand and holds it over your hand and shakes it. Like, I am Matthias. It is lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
And your friends?
Oh, I'm Nadi. And she'll stick her hand out too.
It's lovely to meet you. I'm just handing out leaflets, and he sort of glances back to where Deacon Marks went to those who appreciate it. But please take one each. We're here till at least 6 a.m. So if you want to eat or drink or celebrate or just come and sit down and listen to a story, then we're there.
I don't want to pry, but why would the deacon be so upset with you?
He doesn't like magic users. In fact, he doesn't like a lot of things. It's okay.
Yeah, I guess I kind of got that impression. I met him earlier today.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he came by the library.
He's always been like that. I wouldn't worry too much. It's nothing personal. Nothing personal at all. He likes to get little grudges and whine about them over and over again, and then cast every magic user with every magic user. And he starts to ramble.
He sounds like a very miserable man.
Oh, he is very miserable. Grumpy. No. And
there's grumpy, but that was like beyond grumpy. That was like, just cruel to take your things and rip. That's not very good.
It's not the first time he's done it. It's fine.
I already don't like him.
Oh, good, because I don't either.
Oh, good.
I mean, I know he's helping out with the whole situation with the trans, so...
No. He is looking to further his own argument is what that man is doing.
He has argument. Well, obviously he has arguments, but he has like a point to it, you mean?
He doesn't like people who wield magic, basically. If he can find an excuse to blame them, then he will.
So he doesn't like half of the population?
Yes, but it's okay, because no one really likes him either. Not even.
But he also didn't really like me, and I don't have magic.
Oh no, that was him on a good day. If he really doesn't like you, he will shred your papers.
I mean, I hope that he's not gonna. I hope that he is there to help, you know, and not to advance his personal goals, like you say. But I guess we'll see.
We'll see. He's not intelligent enough to do it. But he knows people who are, which is why he likes to strut about and show off.
So he's a man with connections, you're saying?
Oh, yes, he's in the church.
Yeah, see, I've never really been to the church either, so...
Yeah, neither have I.
Oh, no, there's nice people in the church. There are nice people. It just so happens he happens to be there as well.
So find out when his day off is and go to church then.
Oh, I wish he'd take a day off.
Ugh. Well, I definitely want to check out your storytelling later, but I'm also very excited for the cabaret. I've never been before.
Well, I tell you what, ladies, you enjoy the cabaret, and then maybe you come and join me for a story later, some food, some drink. Maybe I'll see you there. Me and Sophia, we're telling our story.
Oh, you can...
Favorite story. Like, as he's sort of really trying to set you, as he sort of smiles and very, like, again, like you see this blue hair flop in front of his face, and he quickly pushes it out of his eyes.
I definitely would like to go. And I know you're working, it seems like you're working now, but if you wanted to stop by the cabaret, I'll be dancing. So,
maybe I will. Maybe I will stop by. But I need to hand out whatever, even if it's half the leaflet, it's still my job. I've got to hand them out.
right, of course. I wouldn't want to take you away from your work.
Oh no, if I finish early, I know where to go.
Did you have many of those left to hand out?
Just a few. I normally pop them into all the bars and coffee shops so that when they all file out, they end up by the season 3. Pretty handy.
That's not too bad. Is this where Nadi could kind of use like her hedge magic to kind of make the leaflets at least read like a full one, even though it's been ripped in half?
Yeah, why not roll for me to see how well it does?
And that would be the intelligence?
Yeah.
Based?
An intellect, yeah.
Intellect, sorry, not intelligence.
I can...
that thing.
Yeah. So, on a 4, in fact, you describe it for me.
So she basically just sort of holds her hand out, and there's like this soft little bluish glow, and it almost looks like ripples of water coming from her hand, and it hovers over the paper for a little bit, and you see the words sort of swim around a little. And then all of a sudden, as they're reforming, it's just you realize all the information that was on the full sheet of paper is now on the half sheet instead.
You're pretty good at that. Thank you. I can't do that.
Well, it's no problem. It's just, little fixes. I can do that.
That's fantastic. Maybe more people will come now.
Hopefully, it sounds like a good time.
It's a far more convenient size, actually. As he sort of like starts shuffling through them, he's like, well, anyway, I've got to run. Sophia and I, maybe if I hand these out as fast as I can make it to the cabaret.
That would be great.
Hope to see you there.
Yeah. No, I hope to be there. And he said, I will see you later. And he sort of takes off almost in a sprint, and you see this ferret jump out of the back of his shirt and start running through the air around him, following him down the street. And
Nadi.
where are you? I was going to say, can you describe the route to the cabaret? Or what does the cabaret look like as you arrive?
Yeah. So the cabaret, it's not in the nicest part of town. That's for sure. And we're getting there really early because like the shows aren't going to start until the sun actually sets, and we just got let out of school. But it's in an alley, and it's a dirty alley. And you walk in, and the wallpaper is peeling. And even though there's maybe like one person in there, Niles is probably in there somewhere, but and he's probably the only person in there right now, but still the room is filled with smoke. He's like, it's just always smoky in there, and it smells like smoke. And and everything is covered in red velvet. It's really over the top. There's a really giant chandelier that looks really old. And yeah, but it's empty and it's quiet and it's surprisingly cozy considering how sleazy it is.
Sleazy but cozy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to briefly hop over to Charlie. What is Charlie doing as you stood outside the spot where you were and saw this distortion in the sky?
I think I stared at it for a little while. Did it seem to have any, like, be streaming from a source or just be up there?
It doesn't seem to be streaming from a source that's necessarily like on the ground. If anything, it's coming from the sky, but you can't see like a source it's coming from. You more see just this shimmer.
Interesting. I'm gonna take a couple different like routes through back streets and whatnot, and just try and keep it in sight and see if it changes from different angles. It's like, what time about is it again? Like early evening?
It's early evening, so it's that point where it's getting dark, and it's gone past golden hour. It's like it's getting to the darkest side of it.
Okay.
And you can look up at this sky, and again you can see where it looks like it's just stretched slightly, even since you last looked at it, but it doesn't look like it's just expanding. It's almost in some way like it's expanding, retracting. It goes a little bit further, but it's not like a splodge in the sky. This is almost mixing with the darkness of the night sky itself. You have to actually really look to focus on it to see it.
Well, I had a couple of places I wanted to stop by on the way that day, so I think I'm still gonna try and stop by and see Faust. And his tattoo shop is a very tiny place, not in the direction that I was going. It's kind of, I wouldn't say across town, but kind of closer to like Miles's apartment, in that direction, I suppose.
You sort of see almost like this hole in the wall. It's almost like just a door, and you know through that door is a very narrow set of steps which goes up, almost like into above another house or another shop. You're not too sure. The shop never opens, the one beneath it, if there is a shop there. But you can walk through that door and up those stairs.
Yeah. I've still been doing this like low profile kind of thing as I've been walking through town, and head just very, I wouldn't say carefully up the stairs, but just not making a ton of sound, just kind of like checking before to see if there's anyone ahead, and same as like the top of the stairs, just like looking around, seeing who's around.
You get to the top of the stairs, and there's like this teeny tiny landing. It's almost like a square, not an actual landing. You can see that door. There is an open sign on it, that same very old open and close sign, and sort of a red door that's really faded, and some of the paint is peeling off around the sign and like the handle. But you also know it's coming up to maybe his closing time, and if there is another customer in there, it's probably his last one.
I'm gonna peek in and see if there's anyone around. Just gently open the door and just crack.
Yeah, you peek in and you have a look, and you can see him at all these surfaces actually just cleaning. It looks like he's just scrubbing everything down for the day. You can see like lots of almost just tubs of boiling water and things like that. You can see him just piling everything into this. And he turns, and first of all, he hears the door. It's that small bell rings. He's just like, I'm sorry, I'm about to close for the day. And for a moment he looks up. He's like, oh, and just starts wiping like his wet hands down on this apron he's sort of got, almost like a denim apron covered in color. And he's just like, come in, I haven't seen you in ages. Come on. And he sort of opens the door fully, almost to usher you in.
I want to know what made that face.
Apparently I'm not drinking enough.
Oh, never enough. Always more water.
Always hydrate, you folks.
Hydrate.
So yeah, I head on in and it's kind of a friendly pat on his shoulder, and yeah, I don't think this place has a whole lot of like window type stuff, but he has a ton of like posters that almost look like windows. Mm-hmm. And different lights aimed in different ways that almost simulates outside. But
it's like it's natural light, but that there's no natural light in here. But he ushers you in, quickly flips the sign and closes the door. How have you been? Hang on, I need a chair. And you see him pull a chair that's got what looks like loads of paper designs on. He just quickly pushes them off, starts moving stacks of things around. He's like, there you go. Have that chair. That's the one with all the legs. As he sort of starts looking around for a stool or something like that.
I'll sit down and just kind of like tuck up my feet, and yeah, I've been okay. I don't know, kind of checking in with folks because weird things happening lately.
Like what?
Like. Oh, hang on. Did the power outage come up here at all? Did it reach here?
A little bit. Freaked the hell out of one of my clients, but yeah, no, it was fine. It wasn't. I mean, it reached here, but it doesn't. It sounds like it didn't do nearly as much damage as it did elsewhere. No trams fell.
Yeah, it's well, I've seen a lot of those. Today, so it's just wanting to make sure you're okay.
I'm all good. I mean, have you spoken to Shayna recently?
Yeah, I actually saw her today. She's fine. All the shops are fine. Just...
Good. You almost think he looks a little bit not nervous, like he looks relieved that you have checked in on everything.
I know I should probably visit more often instead of just popping in whenever I'm worried about something, but
we're all busy. I work 3 jobs. I mean, this is my main job, but some people can use help every now and then.
Yeah. Listen, have you heard from Siren at all?
No, you're fine. In fact, I haven't heard a thing. Like, at all. And he sort of sits back on his stool. Almost tips over the edge, forgetting there's no back. No. Nothing. You haven't been... Have you been down there recently, then? Are you looking for it?
No. I just had a weird thought that maybe...
What?
I No, whenever something weird goes on, I just
You're
think it might be
paranoid.
them.
You're paranoid.
Yeah,
I mean, I get
I
it.
think with reason.
I mean, I get paranoid, but at the same time, you've got to remember, he's not that clever. You're not on his radar anymore. I'm not. If I'm not on his radar, you're not on his radar, okay? I haven't seen him in months, even. Not even heard the name. You're the first time I've heard of it.
I guess that's just what's weirding me out. I expected to hear something.
Well, I can do some digging around if you want to find something.
I appreciate it, actually.
I can have a look. He's not got a problem with me. So I'm not going down there, but I can have a look.
I know you didn't really know Miles a whole lot, but have you seen him either?
Who, sorry?
My brother?
I haven't seen Miles in a while, but then we didn't talk much once, left and everything. Otherwise, sticking together kind of makes it easier to find.
Oh yeah, just look around.
Is he not? Has he not gone to see your dad's?
I haven't checked yet.
Maybe you should check. You know what he's like? He leaves for whatever, however long, unannounced, and pop, there he is again. I'd be surprised if he rocked up here in the next few days.
Or something. I don't know. I haven't, tried to leave town. I know it's been months, but I don't know.
It's fine. I'll tell you what, I will see what I can dig up on what's his name, and then I'll let you know, or I will kick Miles's ass and tell him to go and find you. Because let's be honest, he's probably forgotten. Have you spoken to Amand? You still talk to that Aggie? She's been turning up around
Yeah.
a few times. I don't know why.
You know her. She's a busybody.
Yeah, she had her cats with her this time though. They're cute. They're quite sweet. Yeah,
They're the best.
they're quite sweet. She kept trying to give me pickles.
Sounds like her.
I think she's just lonely. I mean that in the nice way, because she seems real nice.
Yeah, I'll make sure to stop by in a few weeks.
I would, because all she does is talk to those cats. Might do her some good.
Okay, well, thanks. I hope everything's going well here, and
Pop in again more often. It doesn't have to be during working hours. I'm actually going out later this evening if you want to come.
her too.
Apparently there's a night market going on. It's supposed to be really good. I just know my friend's down there. He's got one of his stands up to make, well, he's calling it homebrew, but don't drink it. But I said I'd go, say hi at least.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah. You can't miss it.
Alright, well, maybe. Let's see. I'll try and stop by them. I'll tell you what. I'll stop by Aggie's and bring along some cookies.
Okay, I don't think I've had her cookies.
They're great. You haven't lived until you've had some of her cookies.
Okay, I'm down for that.
I mean, she has a great bookshop anyway, so if you're ever headed down that way, like, it's amazing what you find in there. And she always has baked goods for him, so.
I got that vibe. I really did. I mean, yeah, she seems sweet. Maybe I should pop in and say hi one time. I walk past her, like, almost every day. But maybe I'll see you at the night market, maybe? Because, you know, you need to get out more.
I'll try.
I mean that in the nicest way. You know, I mean it. Because I care about you, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to end up like your brother.
What, drinking all the time?
Just disappearing here, there, and everywhere, and then staying in the flat. Like, come on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks again. We'll get up and we'll rock.
Yeah. I'll see you in a bit. Yeah? A couple of hours? I mean, I'm not heading down there until after dinner, so.
All right.
It's by the season tree.
I've been before.
Okay. I'll see you later.
All right. I'll head back out.
And at that, we're going to hop over to Tolan. Tolan, you and Averick were sat in broom bindings. When Averick pointed this out to you, you can see Clyde's nose going a little bit crazy. You're not sure if it's the pickles or if it's this thing in the sky. But
Yeah, he looks over to Averick and not seen anything like that before, have you?
so you can see it too, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's not doing anything, I think.
Things that don't do anything are sometimes the most frightening.
Well, and he sort of quickly checks around at the plants on the front, like, window boxes.
Mhm.
Well, they're alive. My window's not smashing. That'd be a pain. Again.
Yes. That's the trouble with things that seem like they do nothing. You forget about them. They hang up, in this case, the air. Everyone gets used to it. Before you know it, everything's changed and you can't figure out why. Can't quite pinpoint one thing linked to another.
I don't know. Typically, there's too much weird stuff going on right now. I don't like it.
I agree.
Maybe keep an eye on it.
Yes. He reaches into one of these deep sort of pockets on the outside of his jacket and takes out a little notebook and just scratches down the date and the time of first noticing this.
You still
We
keep
might need
that
to
on you
remember.
then?
Okay. We might need to remember later.
Yeah. Well, turns out I've got a pretty good view of it from here, so I'll let you know if anything happens.
Do.
Yeah. And almost jolting you out of this conversation where you're both, there is a bang on the window and a slam of this leaflet, and this guy with very bright electric blue hair is like the other side. And it's like, open, are you open? Like, it sort of slides in and opens the door. He's like, hi, are you open? Yeah. What can I get you? What can I get you? And this guy looks at you and looks at Averick and says, leaflets to the night market. We tell stories.
The night market's returned.
Yes, the season tree. Look at the time of year. He's sort of like waving these leaflets sort of near you. You don't want one? With every one, you get a free drink.
I'd lost track of time that we were at the change of the seasons as well. He takes one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Two, actually. Grabs one for Averick.
I'll put the rest on the counter here, maybe. And maybe you hand them out with all your delightful coffees. Hmm?
Where was your last stop?
Well, to be honest, this is one of my first ones. I live around here, so I'm just joining. But I know they've just been around some of the smaller villages. It tends to be that they come here because of the season tree, you know?
Right. Storyteller, you say?
Yes, me and Sophia here. And you see this small ferret poke its head up and almost sort of look around underneath his hair at you.
Oh, blended right in. Almost missed.
She does that. Very sneaky. When she
It's stories, though.
Yes, stories.
What kinds of stories?
Good ones? Why? What do you like? I mean, I'm going to be telling one of my favorite ones today, so if you want to come along to that one, you can come along to that one.
Stories often contain truth.
They do, I guess.
They have your own creation or ones that you've heard and are carrying with you.
Probably a little bit of a mix. You know, you hear the same story over and over. You got to give it some flavor, and you hear it from so many different people. It changes. Still good, though.
That is the way stories work.
Well, we're here for 3 nights in a row. So, and tonight I tell my first story. It's quite a performance.
What is the name of this story?
The Phoenix and the Traveler. Come on, that sounds good, right?
Phoenixes are quite spectacular
That they are.
beings. Interesting. So what is this based off of something you heard and you spiced it up, as you said?
Well, I don't think it's the original story, but everyone has to add some flair. I don't know, I've heard it from so many people. Some say it's a phoenix, some say it's some sort of giant monster creature, some say it's a dragon, some say it's... And he just starts listing off all of these things. But I like the phoenix. Rebirth, you know? Come on, it's the season tree. Cycle, change.
It is a time for changes.
I don't know, I just tell the story.
So do you have a story about last night that you're creating?
I hadn't thought to. I kind of have my stories. I mean, I pick up new ones, but I've got to have time. I can't just whip it out like that if I want it to be good. Different story every night.
Be interesting to see.
Good.
Who is running the night market these days? It's been quite some time since I've visited.
No one's really running it anymore. It's for the people. You sign up, you bring your stall, you have a part of it, and there you have it. The church don't really get involved anymore.
Ah.
Because, you know, and he gestures to himself, to the hair, and to Sophia.
Well.
Don't get me wrong, you see half of them there enjoying all the treats and everything like that, but there's a fair few that don't agree. And if one doesn't agree, none of them are allowed to agree.
There are some that hold quite a bit of sway in the church.
Oh, yes. Yes, there are. You sound like you don't like them.
No problem with the church. Church is, in some ways, one of the greatest patrons of magic around, but in others, one of the most destructive forces within our world as well.
It's true, but isn't that the same of everyone? You don't need to be magic to be destructive.
Oh, that is true.
We're just more obvious with it, maybe.
You think you have quite a bit of insight from your stories.
A little. I could have a little bit of insight. I mean, I also have a lot of experience about not being liked about certain churchgoers.
Yes.
And nor do you, right?
I was wondering if my reputation had preceded me.
Hey, I like you. You haven't done anything bad to me. Yet. I don't know, you might do.
Not on purpose.
I've heard stories about you. From one deacon in particular, he doesn't like you, does he?
Oh, Deacon Marks, and I have a bit of history.
Oh, me too. He's an interesting one.
He loves to find events, people, individuals that fit into his mold of how he thinks the world should be.
He has been like that from a very young age.
No doubt.
Yep, you got to have it ingrained in you to be that much of a pain in the ass.
Well, I will say, though, he's not necessarily wrong about me.
Why'd you think that?
You're the storyteller.
I know. And I
You-
get my stories from the people I talk to.
So, I have no doubt, as you seemingly know who I am, that you're well aware of what put me on his radar.
I am. I am also on his radar for
What was-
being a magic user.
Yes. Little different. Little different. His general disdain for magic.
But he's hated me longer than you. So it's okay.
Interesting. Quite young to have someone like Deacon Marks having hated you for nearly a decade or more.
Longer. Much, much longer. It's what happens when you grow up with a young brother who can use magic and you can't.
I was suspecting. So, storyteller Marks.
I am. Matthias Marks, thank you. And he holds a hand out.
Tolan Folk.
I know. And what an honor it is to meet the man who has pissed off my brother for so many years.
It's quite an honor to meet someone who would survive and still carry the joy of stories in their heart after having a brother quite like yours.
Well, he wasn't positive. Someone had to be. He used to tear up my books and make fun of poor little Sophia here. So he would, and then he would steal, he wouldn't just rip my books, he would steal them. He was a bully. So, and he clicks his fingers and a small blue flame sort of emerges at the palm of his hand. So I set his toys on fire.
Oh, you must have kept your parents hopping.
My mother is, she loves us both. Father didn't really want to deal with the situation, so he sort of ignores it. But mother would love us to get on, but it's not going to happen whilst he's like that. I can't just turn this off.
No. And Tolan sort of chews on those words for a moment about just turning it off. It kind of bites into his memory a bit. No, you can't, can you?
No. Anyway, I've been told that I'm invited to a cabaret, so I need to go and hand out more of these leaflets before, before my show.
Well, there are some interesting cabarets in the city.
Well, I've heard this one is very interesting. And I have it on good knowledge that there are two pretty ladies there and they're going to dance.
So that type of cabaret, you will have fun.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I've never been to one.
We'll perhaps see you at the Nightmarket after your adventure.
You should. Remember, and he sort of taps the paper in your hand. Free drink with every entry. And a good story. I do that for free.
Of course.
And if I don't see you, I'll come find you tomorrow and drag you tomorrow.
Or the next night. Have you ever met someone named Aggie?
No. Why? Who?
You would get along. She tends to drag people to places as well.
Oh, maybe I'll see this Aggie at the Nightmarket. Do you know where she is? Maybe I'll go give her a leaflet.
She has a bookstore down on 2nd, I believe.
Bookstore. Okay, then that's where I'm going next. And you hear that tinkle as the door opens and the bell rings, and you hear "See you there" as he
Don't let the cats get out.
And he's gone. With just that flash of blue as this ferret jumps through the air after him. And you see where his footsteps leave. There are small blue footprints that fade just as he walks. I am going to go and take a quick bio because Scratticus.
Because you just drank that whole thing of water.
I'll be back in a second.
I claim Matthias.
You keep
Sorry.
calling out these NPCs. I'm falling in love with all of them. Fantastic. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, he's Deacon Marx's brother.
Oh, now that's a twist.
So that whole interaction was the two of them being brothers.
Yeah. Hello. Oh my god. I love it. I love it.
Gonna be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Paul, I had to break it to you, but go for this one, and that one's your brother-in-law. You sure you want to go that way? I mean, hello, how do you do? That's not an accent, it's not an in-law. Could you imagine?
How cool would it be if both the Marx brothers fall in love with Paula?
Oh my god.
What? I'm here for that. I'm so
I'm
here for
so here for that.
Please,
Oh
please, to be
my!
happening.
I think I don't know how Paula would be able to cope with all of that attention. I mean,
Could you imagine though? It'd be like a whole like Hunchback of Notre Dame setup.
oh, that'd be great.
Oof.
Or like Vampire Diaries, like there's
Yeah.
he's like the
Oh,
bad boy, and then there's like the good boy, but they're both kind of like
they have their own issues.
they all
Yeah,
have,
they both have issues.
They have issues.
It's like, but we instead of one of them having baggage, like we just all have baggage, you know.
Yeah. Although, what a curveball! The fact that they're brothers. Oh,
Mhm.
Also, Matthias and Aggie, looking forward to that.
yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see her talk to herself like this because that's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
We're gushing.
Sorry, what?
We're just
We did it
gushing.
again. We just did it again. We just, we're loving it all.
You
We're
want to
loving
see? You want to see Aggie talk? Oh, me talk. Okay, no, I get it now.
Yeah, Aggie and Matthias have a nice little conversation together.
That's so
Yeah.
tough. It's like
Yeah.
we can just
Oh,
hear
that's
about
not-
it.
yeah.
We can all imagine Matthias and Aggie.
That's a force of nature right there.
It is
Yeah.
a force of nature right there.
Oh, this is
Oh,
wonderful.
wow.
Right, but we are going to hop back over to this cabaret where the music is very much alive as you walk into this smoke-filled sort of, what did we say, shabby but cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Sleazy but
sleek
cozy.
cozy. You can see some people smoking these sort of big, hefty, almost like cigars at the side by the bar. The smoke isn't always white. Sometimes it comes out a purple or a green. And you see probably a lot of regulars by the bar. And you see a lot of magic users are there, but also a lot of non-magic users. This seems to be a fairly level place. And you see a man behind the bar, one you know easily. You've known him for years, probably, every time you've come here. And you see a small mouse, Inukwe, sat by the side, sort of rubbing one of the glasses with a cloth, almost mimicking what his other half is doing. As he sees you and he's like, Paula, hey, what am I getting you? What am I getting you? And oh, a friend. Oh, and he literally just stops, throws the rag aside, as much almost in the same motion. So does this little mouse. It's almost like it's like a dormouse, and he looks over at both of you as this mouse scurries up his arm and sits on his very sharp, very well pressed white shirt that's buttoned all the way up to the top. What can I get you? And who's your friend? Hi.
We're not drinking tonight, first of all. We're dancing. Second
Okay.
of all, this is Nadi.
Hi, Nadir.
Oh, hello.
Are
It's
you
nice to meet you.
are you dancing as well, or can I get you a drink?
No, Paula said that I should do some dancing because she wants to have me show what I can do.
Okay.
She's really good.
Do you want me to get Niles?
Yeah, no, that'd actually be great. I kind of wanted to make an introduction between Nadi and Niles. I think Niles would really appreciate her moves.
This isn't Niles?
No, my name's Alex.
Hello, Alex. Who's your friend?
George,
Hi,
George. Come out. It's rude. And you just see again this mouse come out from underneath the collar and have a quick look. Yeah. He's shy.
Well, I appreciate the offer for drinks, but we have to keep our best mind and body so we can really put on a great show tonight. I'm hoping if we get some extra tips, we can spend it at the Nightmarket.
Oh, I heard that's going on tonight. I'm wondering if I can sneak out early and go and see it. But, if not, I'm just going to Skype tomorrow. But don't tell Niles that, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think Niles is going to let that fly. Sorry.
Wait, what do you mean tips? Like advice?
Oh, where'd you get her? She's cute. Like, it's like he looks over at Paula.
Yeah, she is cute. Maybe you guys should just chat for a second and I'll go fetch Niles.
Okay. And Alex is just like, water? Like looking over at Nadine, realizing you can't have a drink.
Yes, with lemon wedge if possible.
I can do that. And he sort of disappears behind the bar briefly before making almost a bit of a show of it. But it is literally a glass of water with a slice of lemon. And he's like, wait, wait, wait. And then he opens this small umbrella. As he puts it in the water, it twirls on its own. Before resting, he's like, there you go.
Yeah, she's gonna lose her mind over that one. Forget it.
But we will follow Paula. And Paula, you know there's a back room. You know there's an office out the back where Niles is. And that's where you can head.
I'm gonna knock on the door, peek my head in. Hey, Niles.
Oh, coming in. I'm just checking some stuff. Hang on.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, just a list of bills and God knows what. Get off. And he sort of moves as this frog he sort of shoves this little spectral frog off the side to one of the papers. Get off. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really excited to dance tonight, as always.
Good to have you.
I actually have a little surprise for you.
Paula, you know I hate surprises.
I know, but I think this time you'll really appreciate it.
Right.
Because this time it's a person.
Oh, thank God.
A potential employee, perhaps.
Interesting.
She's a student of mine, not at the university, but you know how I teach those dance classes a couple times a week?
Yes.
She's been going regularly for a long time now, and she's really talented. And I think you should watch her move. And you know, maybe if you think she's got what it takes, give her a chance to shine on the stage.
Why not? You always bring good people here, Paula, so why not? Well, you can have an opening in the next half hour, so if you want to get sorted or whatever, and you see him sort of again just push this frog off of something he's trying to write on. But
yeah, I'll go get her dressed and like we could do makeup and everything. It'll be great.
I don't get that part, but yeah, you do. You know where the changing rooms are.
Yeah. Okay, see ya in 30 minutes. 20 minutes. Okay.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay.
And he sort of gives you a wink and smiles and then goes back to writing, which you see a stack of papers, which just contains numbers. And he looks a bit stressed by it, but sips this sort of glass of whiskey before not waving you out, like dismissing you, but letting you know you can head off. And what's Nadie doing? Are you just drinking this water, or?
First of all, I'd be playing with the umbrella a little bit, like probably even like touching it to spin it some more.
And Alex, that you know you can put it on your finger, like hold it up on your finger, and it keeps spinning.
It does? And she'll pick it up and put it on her hand, and
yeah, he takes it off and he's like, hang on, hold your palm flat.
Like
yes. Ready? And he just sort of spins it and it just stays and it keeps going. And there's like a pattern on this umbrella of this, like a horse jumping, and you see it move as it goes, almost like one of the...
Do they all look like this one?
Well, they're not all horses, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, so different picture each time?
Yeah, kind of. We got dancers as well, and you know, that sort of thing.
This is so fantastic.
I mean, we thought it keeps the patrons entertained. I didn't expect it would this much, but keep it. It's fine.
I get to keep this one?
Yeah, it's okay. I've got loads. Like
a lot.
And he sort of picks up, you see a packet behind the bar and it's just packed full of them. You're like, yeah, like literally loads.
That's very impressive.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is the first time I've seen something like this before. I've never been to a cabaret. Do all the cabarets have them here? These little umbrellas?
It's normally a standard bar thing, but yeah, why not? Probably.
I have got to remember this. Thank you very much. This is wonderful.
No worries, but you can have the water as well, as he sort of reminds you, pushing the water towards you.
Oh yes, thank you.
Paula, you can see this happening.
as much as it warms my heart to see you guys chatting it up over here. Nadi, I am going to have to snatch you away because you got 20 minutes to get ready and get in costume and get in makeup and practice a dance. So we gotta run.
Okay, but I she looks down at her clothes. She goes, but I don't have costume. I just wore normal clothes.
Don't you worry about a thing. We've got you all set up. You can borrow one of my outfits.
Oh, okay. Goodbye, Alex. Thank you for my umbrella and she'll grab her water and my water.
Anytime. Literally my job. Like as he sort of watches you head off.
Like dragging her away. So I lead Nadi to the backstage area where there's like all the mirrors with like those classic mirrors that have the lights that go all around. And as fast as I can, I throw her in a chair and I'm gonna like slap on as much makeup as I can. Like really, it looks, I mean, to us it would look horrible, but to the denizens of this world, like that's like just stage makeup, you know, just like those like big circles of blush and on the cheeks and like bright blue eyeshadow and crazy lashes that go way out, and the outfit is it's like a bodice that it's feathered and there's some thigh-high boots and feathered gloves too.
And how is Nadine reacting to being dressed up, basically?
You may have just lost her to the feathers because she'll just probably be like, "Oh, this is very cool stuff. You get to wear this each time you do something here?"
Yeah, every night.
How is it you work in two places I'd never want to leave?
But listen, you have to, you can't worry about the feathers right now. You are about to go on stage and dance for Niles.
Wait, I go now?
You go now. And then I just push her onto the stage.
And I would like you to roll me a speed check, please, Nadine, to see how well you do.
Okay. Let's check it out.
Oh!
Okay, cool. The feathers aren't her undoing.
Yeah, just describe it for me. You got a nat 20 effectively.
Oh, very cool. So essentially she'll go out a little bit flustered, but Nadi loves music. So the second she hears the music, she's just going to start fluidly moving with it as if it was just almost natural for her form to move and to make these different little dance moves. And she'll tap into everything she's been learning from Paula and just sort of create this impromptu. She doesn't even know she's doing it as a routine, but she'll just have fun. And she might even notice like, a couple feathers flying off and she'll snatch them and turn it into sort of like a, kind of like almost like a juggling dancing type of thing as she's collecting these feathers because she likes the feathers. But it'll be one of those things where she kind of ends with a little flare and does this big, deep curtsy to the audience. And then she'll pop up and do a quick little wave and run off the stage.
Yeah, as you're dancing, you don't see it, but Paula sees it. Some of the feathers, as you spin, they change color, almost like a wave of color up and down. And you do hear cheers, you do hear clapping. There's not a lot of people in here, but there is enough, and you can definitely feel the applause. And Paula, you're here when she legs it off the stage.
Okay, I did.
Oh my gosh. Nadine, that was so good. I'm so proud of you.
So I did good.
You did amazing. You totally used all the techniques that we talked about in class.
Yes, I love all the stuff we do in class, so I use that, but I've never been on a stage before like that before, ever, never.
Well, for someone whose first time was on stage, you did awesome.
I did? She's probably like the little girl at her first ballet recital, just like kind of like jumping up and down and sort of just, giddy upon herself. This was so much fun. You showed me a library and you showed me this place, and this is just, wonders never cease today.
If Niles doesn't hire you, then he is making a big mistake. I think you've got a job, Lindy. If you want one, I mean, of course, I know you're probably.
I could work here and make money for myself?
Well, I can't speak for Niles. Just in case, I'm going to say it's up in the air, but we should talk to Niles, and I think you did pretty good. So.
Oh, thank you. It was so much fun. And it was just, that was good music too. And these feathers are just, they go poof and you catch them. And it's like, you know, it's like they have life of their own.
You could wear those every night, because I'm thinking I'll pass on my current routine to you with those feathers, and then I'll just come up with something new. I've been coming up with some ideas anyway.
As long as it's not making more work for you, because you're a very hard worker. I mean, you have library during the day and this at night, and then you teach the classes. So if it's not too much work, I won't say no, because these are really cool feathers, but it's totally up to you.
I've been sitting on some ideas for a long time. I've been wanting to change my routine anyway. So it's really nothing.
I mean, okay. I love it. This was fun. This was amazing. This is like probably one of the best nights in my life so far.
Well, it's only just beginning, because we still got the rest of the show and then the night market. So we have a lot to look forward to.
And I can't wait to see you perform too. Can I watch from other side of stage?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Of course you can.
Wonderful.
And you can see Niles. Now, he's obviously been watching as he sits at the bar on one of the stools. He's not smiling, but to Paula, you know that's a good thing. He's like thinking more than anything. And you can see that frog sort of resting on his hand where he sort of rests at the bar. And as he sees you looking, he does look at you and just nods, and then there's that tiny bit of a smile.
Oh, you're good. You're good, Nadi.
Are you sure? Because there's no smile on his face, and usually no smiles means they're crankies.
No. Niles is a special case. You're good.
So no smile is good for Niles.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, no, I'm so proud of you. But I have to start getting ready now for my performance.
Can I help you? Can I get you things and make it easier for you?
Yeah, of course you can. Well, I guess I'm gonna wing it. Why don't you just like grab that big roll of fabric and wrap me up like a mummy?
If you say so, you're the professional expert. So okay, I'll go get fabric.
And I'll have Nadi wrap me up like a mummy.
I mean, you're the professional. And you can look like a fabulous mummy. and
I do my makeup to kind of look like muscles.
Okay. And you can do your dance. I will say you can do this for sure. This is not your first time on the stage, but describe it.
So it's a very slow dance, and it's actually feels kind of solemn. And slowly throughout the dance, I'm unwinding the fabric, and it's like a sheer fabric, so it kind of looks like skin, and it almost looks like I'm like releasing the skin off my body and exposing the muscles beneath. And it's like, and it's haunting, but it's also beautiful. And yeah, I don't have magic, so I'm trying to like stand under the light in certain angles to like add to that illusion. Like it's an illusion of unraveling my skin.
And Nadi, you see almost like this very bizarre but enchanting dance. And you know Paula's not a magic user, but in front of you right now, you wouldn't guess it. It's strange but beautiful, as she's very different to your dance, where it was fast and spinning and twirling. You see how slow this is. And again, very much like at the end of yours, you hear an applause. And this time you see Niles sort of clapping and just sort of giving a gesture towards, just sort of pointing towards Paula with a smile. And you see him start to pour 2 drinks and gestures over to the both of you.
We should go. And I kind of like motion to Nadi on the side of the stage.
Okay, you're the boss. I follow along.
I guess we approach Niles.
And you see Niles. This is a fairly broad man in every way. If a human could be a square, that is what this man is. He is just broad in every sense. And he smiles in his smart jacket and fairly sharp shirt, which looks a bit creased and you can see an ink stain here and there. And he smiles and he pushes 2 drinks towards you. There's one Polar, it's your regular. And Nadi, it is a water with a lime wedge in it and a spinning umbrella. As he pushes it towards it, I just asked the bartender what you liked.
Nadi's gonna lean over to Paula. He's smiling. Should I be worried now?
I think this time it's okay.
So sometimes smells are good or bad. Wait. Hello, I'm Nadi.
It is nice to meet you, Nadi. And he sort of holds a hand out again to sort of shake it. And he shakes it very lightly. If you do, yeah, it's almost like he's concerned you would break.
She'll like squeeze back. She goes, no, you do nice strong handshake like this, like my father taught me, firm grip, keep wrist straight and up and down, look in eye contact. It's a good thing to do.
And Niles looks over at Paula like, I don't know where you found her, but okay. If you are willing, I have a job opening. You don't have to say yes now. You can
yes.
Think about okay, all right, okay. That's the first time someone's answered that quickly. Well, I tell you what. Why don't you come back here with Paula in the next day or so, and we'll get it sorted out.
That would be an absolute honor, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Like, he looks slightly confused at the enthusiasm for it, but he's like, you're very welcome. Absolutely.
Well, thank you for giving Nadi this opportunity, Niles. I really appreciate it. And also, Nadi, we're gonna be co-workers. I am so excited.
It's gonna be the best thing ever. I could meet you at the library, I could read for a little bit, and then we go to the cabaret together, and then we get ready, and we put on all the makeup. Should I take the makeups off my face? Because I left the makeups on my face, and I probably should put the costume back too, right?
Maybe we can borrow it for the night, since we're going to the fair, the market.
Yeah, do whatever. I'm gonna go and do some more bills. And he sort of wanders off. This frog you can see hopping along the bar before jumping onto his arm behind him.
Did you see Mateus out in the crowd, Nadi, while we were?
I'm sorry, I did not pay much attention because for my routine, I was trying to remember everything you taught me, and then for your routine, I really only saw what you were doing because you were fantastic. That was just... I've never seen something like that before, and there's no magic. Because that was inspiring. That's what that exactly was. It was inspiring and beautiful. And so, no, I'm sorry, I did not see if he was out there in the crowd. Do you want me to look now? I can go look for him now?
Yeah, let's both look.
Okay.
I'm searching high and low for my lover.
He is not here. I suspect he's still handing out leaflets somewhere.
This just means we go to Nightmarket and make point to go to Storyteller's place, right?
Yeah, but maybe if he didn't come, he's trying to like send a signal,
Well, he did have all those flyers I fixed for him, so chances are he was just passing out the flyers. He seemed a very nice fellow. I don't think he'd be the kind to stand you down, right?
Maybe not. I don't know. All right. Well, yeah, we could go to the market now, I guess.
I think it'd be fun. And at least you know he's supposed to be there. And you look absolutely gorgeous. So, hey, win-win situation. We go over there, you say hi, and you wave hello and smile, and we'll see you.
Yeah, I guess it's worth a shot.
I mean, what does it hurt? Nothing except for, hearing a story.
Yeah, let's go listen to some stories.
And at that, we'll hop back over to Charlie. Charlie, where are you headed now?
After Faust was like, have you talked to Aggie in a while? Started getting really guilty about not going to see Aggie in a while, and therefore has gotten tea for them both, and is coming over to just visit.
You know this bookshop. You can see two cats, two tabbies as you walk past. They sort of press themselves against the window at seeing you. And the lights are on, and you can tell they're the lights for as the evening is in. Do you knock on the door or do you walk straight in?
I think I'll knock.
You knock, and you see a shadow, the little shadow of Aggie, sort of step up from this chair. She heaves herself up, and the two cats jump down from the window and race towards this door, and you can hear her fumbling back, just like, get off. And she sort of you feel a chain on the door and it opens. She's like, oh, okay, hang on. And she closes the door again, and the chain comes off the door, and she opens it. She's like, you came to visit me? Come in, come on.
I brought tea, so as I see a large hug incoming, I'm like, there's tea, there's hot thing.
Yeah, she's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Come in, Jeremy, Jemima, move. Like, she sort of starts pushing them out of the way as they sort of huddle around her feet. And you walk into this very small corridor, and to the right there's that doorway as she steps into her bookshop. All the walls are bookcases, every single one, and you can see where she's run out of room, and there are just stacks of books on the floor, all sort of higgledy-piggledy all over the place. You can see what looks like some sort of strange mechanical thing that looks like it's just been smashed against the side of a table, sort of propped up on the side, and a huge sort of grandfather clock in the corner, where it leads through to another room into a kitchen. And there are quite a few plants that you can see are creeping in through the kitchen windows that she's just left wide open. Right, okay, what do we want? Do we want biscuits? What do we want? I made some flapjacks earlier.
That sounds great, actually.
Yep. You know where the chairs are. Go sit down on the chairs, and if you could pour the tea, that would be fab. And you hear that clanking and clanging as you're pretty sure she's just digging through her cupboards trying to find things. As she reappears, sort of again trying to push these two cats out of the way as they huddle around her and you.
I'm picking one up and I'm holding, let's say, Jemima. This large fool.
Yeah, because they're big. These are big cats.
Like Maine Coons. Oh, I missed you guys. I missed you.
And these are big cats. They're not small. Think of a Hemi. Think of Hemingway. As these two cats one of them is just sort of settling itself around your ankles as you pick up Jemima. And she pours the tea. So, is there a reason for the visit, or did you miss me? She sort of squints slightly towards you.
If I say both, will that make it better?
I don't really mind. I just thought,
No, I did miss you. And these two.
Oh, everyone misses these two.
I heard you had them out and about in town.
To be honest, I sort of left the door open and forgot, so they sort of come with me sometimes when I don't close the door.
Well, I'm glad they know how to find their way home. I hate for them to get lost.
Oh, all you have to do is shake the food dish and they'll follow.
Yeah.
Is like, well, like cats. But how have you been? Have you been trying new things, going out and about? What have you been doing?
Well, I went to a new coffee shop.
Good.
And then I saw Tolan.
Good. Are you two like made up now, or what?
No, I wouldn't say that. Then a tram almost fell on me, and that was yesterday.
And she looks utterly horrified. She looks across the table and holds your arm. She's like, "Are you okay? Are you like?" She starts like she grabs your face and starts fanning your face, looking up and down for any scratches or anything.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. Little spooked. To be honest, but I'm looking around. I still think that someone might be behind it, but no one seems to think so.
Maybe you should make up with Tolan.
It's just gonna come back to
Both
that.
of you.
How do I even start? No, let's come back.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Well, both of you seem pretty stubborn, if you ask me.
I don't know about you, but I'm not really a fan of walking into a situation where I might get yelled at again. So
I walk into those situations gleefully. You should like it.
Yeah, I think that's a talent that you specifically have.
Well, no. When I first met Tolan, he shooed me away from his shop. If you stay out there for hours, they let you in the end.
I don't know anyone else who would stand outside a door for like hours just because.
Well, it's not just because he needed a chat. He just didn't know it.
Well, I'm glad someone gets through to him, I guess.
Well, it's the same way you come here to hug the cats.
Hey.
She sort of raises an eyebrow.
Exactly like me right now.
I mean, Jeremy and Jemima miss you. Yeah. And so do I. So why not come talk to a little old lady sometimes? I'm going to go to the night market. Look at me. Getting out. You can come if you want. I'm not taking these two, though.
If you're going, I might just have to give it a try. I wasn't expecting to see you out at night.
Well, let's go then. And she literally just puts everything down.
Right now?
We're going right now. Okay, I need a coat. And she sort of shuffles off into this room, which you see her open this cupboard, and it is full of coats. You suspect that some of it's lost property. But she sort of filters through all of them until she puts on this bright green, sort of almost smart jacket that definitely goes below her knees. And she sort of looks at it herself in this mirror briefly. It's like, there we go. Ready?
Okay. I grudgingly put down this cat and get up.
It sort of mews at you.
See, he doesn't want me to leave.
No, but he never wants anyone to leave. Get your coat on, dear. We're going.
Sure, let's go.
And she all but drags you out of this house, locks up. The cats press themselves against the window again. And she drags you all the way to the season tree. And Tolan, where are you at this point after you've been left seeing this young man, this Matthias Marks, leave Broom Bindings?
Tolan is, hanging out, there for a little bit. Well, he has a fresh bread pickles and cheese, an Aggie pickles and cheese sandwich to finish for his dinner. That me and Averick have sort of scrounged together. And I sort of looked at Averick. Not too busy tonight. And after the events of last night, would you like to come along, or are you staying here?
Whoa, wait. He says, as he sort of leans over the bar. You're going to the Nightmarket. You are? Okay, hang on. And he sort of starts putting stuff away.
Don't get so excited. Oh, Lord.
He starts clearing bits up. You can see Clyde almost mirror his excitement, sort of jumping and galloping around you whilst he's clearing up. Right, okay. And he just sort of throws on this jacket, sort of a short, almost very tatty, old, brown leather jacket. Is come on then, come on. And he almost sort of grabs your arm and starts dragging you out as if he's worried that you won't actually go through with going.
And there's a moment where there's a little bit of resistance, but then, seeing Averick in his sort of old adventurer's coat and Clyde sort of hopping around ready to go out, there's just a wave of nostalgia that sort of rolls over Tolan, and he, just for the briefest of moment, smiles as they head out the door.
Averick, not really seeing it, looks back briefly and grins at you and he's like, come on, I'm checking you out my shop, I'm closing. As he sort of pushes you out the door and closes Broom Bindings, flicking the light switch off as you go and locking up with these very old keys, very clunky keys, and you can hear all the locks going. And then he taps 3 times on the door and a shutter falls down and you hear more locks go up around the door. You just hear the chink, chink, chink as all these locks start falling into place. Come on then, Clyde, get off. As he sort of tries to jump up at both of you and starts walking down the street.
Tolan keeps an eye up at the sky, sort of looking at this oil smudge across the sky. But heads on down. Towards the season tree. I guess we're going towards some of the Grand Canal, yeah?
Yeah. And you can walk down this canal, the lanterns are lit, as they should be. And you can see all of the sort of fireflies light up, but also the flowers themselves. It's where the fireflies probably have settled. They sort of all light up and glow as you round the corner to the season tree, which is flooded by light. And there's so much song and dance going on at the center of what this is, a huge, colorful market. You see food store after food store, just sort of trinkets and just color is the only way I can describe it. on this cobbled street at the center is the season tree, and you see as it's almost like it shivers as the breeze goes past, and you see some of the leaves have started to turn a very bright orange and red, and it's almost like some of the veins in the tree are starting to glow themselves. And you can smell food, you can smell beer, wine, and there are lots of people just dancing along to the live music that is there in general. And you see families, lots of people out and about. You see some children running along together, some of them with their familiars sort of jumping and diving and weaving within the group. But this is a happy place. And you see lots of people here. And it's not just color from the tree or the sort of the lighting from the flowers around. You can see some of the vines has actually left some of the buildings to grow up around some of the market stalls, giving them light naturally itself. There is no artificial light here. Everything is coming from the season tree or the surrounding flora itself. And you see a lot of color dancing in the sky as there are a lot of magic users here. Not doing anything in particular, but just out of excitement. It's almost, you can see the familiars giving off this sort of almost like a puff of smoke as some of them run through the air. And Afric turns to you, he's like, okay, what are we getting first?
I need a beer.
And he sort of gives you this massive slap on the back, even though you're much bigger than him.
Yeah.
He's just like, brilliant. And he sort of starts not running off, but quickly, almost, and if you don't follow straight away, he sort of stops and tries to beckon for you to move faster.
I figure Clyde is being his normal corporeal self instead of in bumping people out of the way. So I follow in the trail.
This tail is like, it's always whipping side to side. You see a couple of people, jeez, like as he sort of just follows, almost like mooching through the crowd after Averick.
I kind of look a little bit to some of them as he sort of barrels his way through. It is not mine.
And you can move around and you sort of weave in between all of these groups of people. And you see a stall with a very colourful awning. There is a man behind the stall, and you see lots of barrels. And there is a handmade wooden sign sort of hung from some of the just hooks at the top, but it looks like some of the vines have woven themselves in between it as well. And he looks over at you and says, what can I get you? Welcome to Toppling Breweries. What can I get you?
Something strong. As he Toland sort of looks around at all of this sort of people and sort of everything that's going around, a bit overwhelmed and sort of retreating into his shell, but sort of the words of Aggie from this morning and sort of the familiarity of sort of being out. He knows he wants to try to experience this, so something strong.
Okay then, pale, amber, or dark? That might be easier.
Dark.
I've got the one. And he sort of, he leans over to one of the barrels on the side, and you can smell the hops. Like and you actually notice some of the greenery around them is hops instead of the vines. So you can smell it from that, and you can hear that glug as he pours out of the barrel. And it's like, there you go. My favourite. Toppling Tipple.
Toppling Tipple. And one for my friend.
And
what
Everett, he's already... I'll go for the first name. Cheers. to something other than coffee.
Well, looks pretty close. He gives it a cheer and
He sort of
slugs it back.
clinks and sort of starts to drain it, and you see his face go just sort of like, wow, okay, how strong was that? And the guy just lets out like this heavy laugh from behind these barrels.
Yeah, I figure Tolan doesn't have a lot of problem with strong flavors, but he appreciates it and probably does go ahead and, I mean, at this point, it's kind of liquid courage, and downs it and another, please, but then we'll sip the next one just to. But he kind of just needed to get himself steeled against the people and the sounds and the sights. And not his familiar places.
And you are almost instantly handed another, as you finish, it's like a swap out as the glass exchanges your hand. Like, cheers.
Thank you, friend. And he puts some coin on the counter. Actually, I guess it's ticket. Does this work here?
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, have a good night and maybe I'll see you later. I got many more.
Probably.
And where are Paula and Nadi as you enter this scene, as you see this explosion of color around you? These sort of smells of cooking meat, spices, just food in general. You can smell those open fires where everything is being cooked.
I'm trying to look past all the colors for electric blue.
Okay, roll me an intellect, please.
Ugh.
You sort of look through the crowd, but this crowd is busy and it is big, and there is a lot of color here. You can't quite see Matthias.
I don't see him anywhere, Nadi.
Well, I mean, he said to meet him at his place where he's telling the stories. But maybe we can get some food and something to drink and bring it over. Because Father always said, best way to man's heart is through his stomach. So we get some food for him and we bring it with us. Yeah.
Maybe he's avoiding me. Maybe he saw me and he's like, and he didn't, and he thinks I'm a stalker because I didn't go and. Oh no, I ruined it.
No, I mean, he's pretty clear about the fact he has to tell stories tonight, so we go to him. I don't think he's going to be coming to you tonight, at least not right now. But I bet we go to a story, and you sit there and smile, and you bring him the food and drink, and, hey, I'm really not an expert, but,
I hope you're right, because I would be really embarrassed if that were the case. I mean, if that weren't the case.
Well, let's face it. If he doesn't realize what a fantastic person you are, then it's totally his loss and not yours.
You're
What,
too
it's just
nice.
the truth?
I don't deserve it.
No, it's the truth, though. You helped me get job. You helped me learn to do more dancing and stuff, and now you take me to this wonderful night market. So hey, if he doesn't see what a wonderful person and how sweet and caring you are for the people, then he's not worth you.
Wow. That is inspiring.
So we get him food and drink and we go. Yes?
Yeah.
Besides, I'm really
it's
hungry.
nice
That
for
smells
us.
so good.
It does smell really good.
So let's get something yummy and we go over and listen to a good story.
Yeah. I want something spicy.
Okay.
You look for something spicy.
You can follow your nose. It's like you can smell the spice in the air, and you can also smell that wood fire. As you hear a lot of laughter and a lot of chatter, and you can see almost like a queue that is forming around this, almost like a clay built oven. And you can see someone with like dough that they are pushing out in spheres and sort of sticking into the clay oven themselves, and you can smell it bake. And you see a woman stood behind this as she looks over at you. Hello, what can I get you?
All of it. Well, whatever smells the best, quite frankly, because this is...
Well, I may be biased, but all of this smells the best. How spicy do you want it? And well, and you see these huge vats set into this table of just brightly colored sauces, like hot sort of oranges, reds, yellows, and you can smell all of the spices.
You said you wanted spicy. You make the call.
I want something really spicy.
Really spicy. Okay.
Really spicy.
And she reaches into this clay oven and almost drops off this sort of huge flatbread that you see steaming, and she sort of juggles it in both hands before putting it on like a piece of material. And she reaches into this vat with this huge ladle, and you see this steam erupt off of this, almost like a curry type thing. You see a lot of vegetables in it. You can see some sort of meat that looks like it's been roasting the entire day. And she pours it into the flatbread before folding it up, putting it back in the oven to seal it shut. And then minutes go by as she pulls it back out again, almost this small bread parcel, which you know is full of this hot, spicy food. There you go. You have to tell me what you think. This is homemade, special recipe. No one else has it. Don't listen to him down the other end.
Here, why don't we try it at the same time, Nadi? And I'll rip off a piece for Nadi.
Yeah, you sort of rip this open. You see the steam coming off it as you break it apart in half and half.
Okay, you mark, get set, big bite, and go.
And it is so flavorsome. It tastes even better than it smells. And the meat itself is like melt in your mouth, as this bread is basically a pocket for this deliciousness.
I haven't known where those to go. This is really good.
And then the heat kicks in. And it is hot. And she's like, you're gonna want some of this with it. And she sort of pulls out like this yogurt type mint and cucumber sort of. So you're gonna want to pour that on it afterwards.
You are kidding about the spices. No.
I never kid. And
I have a
sort of-
second one, but maybe we can take it down a couple notches. But
Yeah.
this is fantastic.
Yeah,
But
yeah, they usually say that. And she starts making you another. And Charlie, Aggie effectively drags you the entire way to this place. And she's literally got you by the arm. It's like, oh, well, I'm going over there first. Come on, let's go over here. And she sort of starts dragging you over to these stores that seem to be selling beautiful silks, material, little trinkets of lots of little animals carved out of different types of stone. She's just like, look at that! Look at it! Do we see anyone we know here? Like, as she sort of looks around. It's fabulous.
It's really colorful.
Mm-hmm. I love it. You know, it's not this happens maybe 4 times a year, maybe a bit more, it depends, but I try and come every single year. Couldn't do it last year, pulled my back out, but other than that, I'm loving it. And she's sort of just looking up in awe as you see some of these fireflies have dropped down from the tree and they're just hanging above in the air.
Despite being dragged here, there is like a very faint smile on her face, and even Al is like looking around and like has this very gentle kind of glow to him, and looks a bit more relaxed than he has been recently. And I'm just kind of looking around and tuning out most of like the chatter, but because it's such a like cheerful vibe, it's bearable.
And she drags you from stall to stall. She doesn't get anything. she's literally pointing at everything she sees as if you haven't seen it, and she is telling you how amazing it is, and look at the color, and can you smell that, and do you want to try this? And she does buy these almost like waffle like flat, almost like biscuits, which you're not entirely sure what it is, but there's piled up of sweet things and fruit sort of adorn the top of it. And she's like, there you go, hold that one. And she's sort of reaching out and paying for one of the others. As she has one each, she's like, they said they were good. I don't know if they're Aggie good, but you know, they might be good.
I'm like looking at him.
Yeah, you don't know how you eat this. This is that kind of thing.
Yeah. I look around and see if anybody else has these and is just either attempting with a like fork, or if this is just a shove it in your face kind of thing.
You see a lot of people trying to figure this out as they're either trying to fold this like waffle-esque biscuit around it and like judging how to do it. You can see how some people have literally just gone to using their finger to sort of like loop up some of this ice cream that's on it as well.
Well, I'm gonna go for it. I'll attempt to lever this into my mouth in some manner. And
you bite into it and you can taste that cold ice cream like flavor, and also this fruit that is not similar to any fruit we have IRL. These are almost like tiny little sort of blue orbs, and as you bite into them, they taste almost like a strawberry, akin to that more than anything. And on the inside, they are red and they are green.
Oh my gosh. I am so delighted. Charlie is also delighted. The two of us less with the currently.
And Aggie, which you can see, she's got like ice cream just all the way around the side of her mouth. She's like, that's the young man who gave me the leaflet. And you sort of points over and you see this man sort of stood on a very simple crate on a box with not just children, but adults either stood or sat around him. And also, just as you start to look, you see Tolan and Averick cross your path with what looks like a beer in each hand. And Aggie just quickly was like, Tolan! Like, she sort of keeps dragging you along the side with you. And she's like, you feel like that tap, that quick, harsh tap on your arm. Hello! I'm out! And so are you!
Yeah. Cheers! You've got a little something.
Oh, yeah, that's all part of the fun of it. Like, she does that, and Charlie, as you start to move, she just grabs you with one arm and pulls you back.
Oh.
What do you mean, oh? Hello is how we normally greet people.
Yes, of course, Aggie, that's what I meant. Hello.
Hello. And who's this? She sort of winks sort of at Averick as she clearly knows who he is. And he's just like...
Aggie, well, of course, this is Clyde.
And what a handsome man he is. And she sort of like, that's it. She's lost to Clyde, who is now besotted with this woman.
I sort of look to Charlie, looking uncomfortable. And Tolan's a little... the edges are a little smoother, as he's probably on his third beer. I see she does this to you as well.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Where's Al?
He's been kind of up around here, but as soon as Charlie got a little like uncomfortable, he just kind of tucks into sort of more here, like still clinging to hair or like, I don't know, a
It's
part
not
of
really
a collar or something. He's there, but he's small. So
Right.
he's just kind of around.
Tolan just sort of looks at, well, with this many Inokwe in an Inokwe and the amount of magic flowing around, not much harm could be done by having some fun.
Charlie looks at him a little like sidelong, and Al even just kind of like peeks around the other side of her head and just kind of like looks at him a little like, huh.
Can I do a perception check, or
You can. What are you looking for?
just to see whether I see Al?
Oh, probably. He's not really hiding.
Okay,
But,
I wasn't sure.
but I'm curious what kind of vibe you're giving off. Like, forefront kind of, other than being like, I sure am here.
Well, and it's probably odd because he's, as soon as he catches Al, his eyes will be on Al and not on you, even though he's talking with. Look to Charlie. So what happened?
What do you mean?
You're in Inokwe.
What do you mean?
He's distorted.
I really don't know. It's been like this as long as I can remember.
Indeed. It would explain a bit. I didn't pay attention at first time in my shop. Some of the why your control might not always be the best.
There's kind of a like hard edge to the look she gives you for just a moment.
Tolan is definitely very much just starting to talk about very personal things in the middle
Yeah.
of the whole festival. Because
You do notice how the Averick is sort of being fussed over by Aggie, so it's not like they're
Yeah, there's no one here just like, hey, what you talking
Right.
come on.
about? Look, they're talking.
Yeah.
What would you know about that?
more than anyone should ever know.
Cryptic.
Not the only one.
As you stand in this awkward silence.
I'm eating. I'm
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm totally drinking on my beer.
Yeah. That awkward silence. Tolan, you feel almost a tug at your shoulders, like, can you help me? As you see Aggie almost like trying to pull him down, like looking at him, like to see how he is, like again, very much like she did with Charlie, checking he's okay and everything like that. And he's like, can you help?
Yep. Aggie, it's fine. I was there. Nothing happened.
I was just checking if he's eating enough.
You bring him pickles and cookies every day.
I don't know if he eats them.
Well, okay, he does give some of them to me. But
Well, as long as you're sharing.
That's yes.
And she's all like, I've seen there's a storyteller. The one he gave me a leaflet. Look, a leaflet. Like, and she's still waving it about. Like, she seems very happy to have this leaflet.
You can get a free drink with that. And yes, Matthias Marks.
Is that his name? I completely forgot to ask. How rude of me.
Yes, I looked at Aggie. Deacon Marks's brother.
And she gives you almost like a side glance. It's like, oh boy. Like, just sort of looking back at Matthias. Well, I'm going to go say hello. And she starts to walk towards this storyteller.
Seeing her sort of totter off into the crowd on her own, I kind of look to Averick and Charlie. We should keep up. Keep.
And at this, Nadine and Paula, you can spot this odd group as you recognize these people, but you didn't suspect to see Tolan and Charlie walking in the same vicinity.
Oh my gosh, Nadine, do you see them?
Yes, should we say hello? Like, go up and say hi and everything?
Yeah, but like, isn't it kind of weird that they're together? Don't you think, after the last time?
Well, I mean, you know, it's like a big party tonight, so maybe they just kind of ran into each other.
Maybe. I'm surprised that they're talking.
Well, I mean, at least in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
That's got to be something, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess if they're talking, then we should probably join the party, you know, see what's up, see if they're okay. I'm glad to see that Tolan's all right, but maybe I should say that to him. Hey, Tolan.
Oh boy.
Tolan, totally not expecting to hear his name, turned around and sees, you know, nice, quiet Paula, you know. Oh, Paula, hello.
Hello, Mr. Tolan, sir.
Hi, Tolan.
Paula's friend. I'm Tolan. Hello.
I'm Nadi. Hello.
Nice to meet you, Nadi.
Nice to meet you too.
Sorry we first met under such stressful circumstances.
That's definitely one way to put it, yes. But you're out here tonight, so hopefully it's not so stressful.
Aggie and Averick. He just sort of just points them and says their names as though that explains everything.
Which they don't for her.
No, I know they don't, but that's stolen.
I've never seen you outside of Bruin Bindings before.
It's not often that I venture out. I sometimes get unwanted attention.
Oh,
Well-
I mean, you seem pretty low-key to me.
That's how I like to keep it.
So sometimes it's good to get out, blow the stink off.
You smell fine. You smell fine. It's just a figure of speech. You read enough to know that.
I was trying to make a joke.
Oh, hey, that's very good try, though.
Stir. That was
Oh,
a
like he's really fake. Like, he's just the worst thing.
Aggie has gone off to hear Matthias Marks.
Aggie. And then I looked at Charlie. Is that like Aggie?
You see this small woman shuffling through the crowd, not caring who she's sort of maneuvering around.
Oh,
There's only one.
well, I'd like to meet her at some point. That's for sure.
Once you meet Aggie, you never unmeet Aggie. Just She's lovely. Truly lovely. A gift to us all. The gift that keeps on giving.
That sounds pretty darn good to me.
Every morning. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 a.m.
Those sound like shop hours.
Aggie hours.
Okay.
No, she's confused. No, she's confused like Aggie hours.
I love the fact that Tala and Nadia are going to have communication problems.
And almost as if that happens, you don't see it, you see this tiny little old hand sort of appear, just sort of from behind Averick, who's sort of looking back with Clyde, which I say, it's a good story, you know. And she's sort of waving you over.
I've been inching that way.
I'll inch that way as well, but as I'm inching, I'm like rewrapping myself because
You're still on me?
Oh, that's right. Y'all are still fully in costume.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like rewrapping myself because I don't want Matthias to see me because I'm nervous.
And you can all push through the crowd, and you do see Matthias, and you can hear this story about a phoenix and a traveler, about a phoenix that came from the earth, and how they formed a bond, and how the traveler became one with this phoenix. And as he's describing it, you see his eyes sort of blaze the same blue as his hair, as you see this fire, again the same blue, swirling out of his hands as he makes these sorts of gestures, as he describes this story, as he describes the scene. And every now and then he sort of projects it outwards towards the crowd, and you can hear like those oohs and ahs and the laughs from children as he tells it. And then you see him sort of with his hand sort of wave across in front of the crowd, and you see this scene in this sort of blue fire of a small man running just past mountains, across fields, with this phoenix sort of swirling behind him as he sort of leans forward and he blows into his hands, and almost like a puff of just grey smoke sort of covers your vision for a moment with these sort of the fireflies you can see sort of mingle in between these sort of smoke pockets. And then you just hear the word phoenix, and you see Sophia, this small ferret, run and just in a moment blaze into blue fire and almost explode in this form of a phoenix as these huge wings sort of swoop through the smoke, skim the audience and all of you as he sort of sees the group of you, smiles, seeing that you've come, and this Sophia sort of bursts into this blue flame and smoke. It touches you, but it's almost like a cool rush of air as it runs past you. And if you do look around, you see Sophia land and start hopping, running back around to climb up Matthias's shoulder. As you see him smile, sort of, he fiddles with his braces awkwardly and then takes a very low bow and grins, and there is a round of applause as this
Standing
happens.
ovations.
And he looks quite shy for a moment as that happens, again sort of running his hands through his blue hair, sort of shaking his hands off, and you see the smoke leave the palms of his hands. And I will be here tomorrow night with a new story. Thank you. And it's almost like his confidence is gone a little bit as the story has stopped, as people start to rise and leave, and you hear them as they walk past you chatting about this story that has just been told and how they'll be back tomorrow night for another And he walks over to you as the group. I did not know you were all friends, but you all came. Apart from you must be, as he reaches out to shake Charlie's hand, and Aggie slides him like between, and it's just like, I'm so sorry, I didn't give you my name earlier. And he's like, no problem, I am Matthias. And she's just shaking his hand vigorously, just like, Aggie, and these are my friends. And you, as you all sort of stand around her, she's like, but I'm gonna go get a drink. And you sort of see her sort of dot about, and she's like, is anywhere to whiskey, as she sort of totters off in a separate direction. And Matthias stands there, almost looking a little bit like shell-shocked. He's like, you came, thank you, did you get your free drink with your leaflet?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm so glad you came. It's spent most of the day handing out leaflets, and I didn't see many of the people I handed them out to, but you're here.
It's an awesome show.
Thank you. I'm sorry I missed yours. I was dealing with someone who popped up again.
Oh, it was nothing. It was just, it was just another night. You could catch me on another night. It's no big deal.
So you got busy hanging out the leaflets, huh?
Well, that and what's his... Mr. Happy turned up again. But are you dancing tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be dancing tomorrow.
And don't you work in that library?
And I do work at the library.
I do want to see that library. Maybe if I pop in, you can show me around. Yeah, no, 100%. I'll probably be doing some research. Maybe you could help out with the research. I mean, I'm not very clever, but I can do that. I can try.
I'm sure you seem pretty smart for you to tell those intricate stories and create all those beautiful magical effects.
Plus, you're a very good teacher, Paula. You could very easily show him how to do things.
Yeah, you seem really smart.
And he, again, just blank. He's like, okay, I can help. As you see this ferret sort of Sophia wrapped around his neck, sort of leaning out and just looking. And it sort of turns its attention to Tolan, just sort of sniffing the air effectively as it looks at you.
Tolan is very much, even during the story somewhat, he was looking around. He was looking around at, again, just sort of trying to get a feel of the number of Inanagwe that were here, the magic sort of flowing around the trees, the vines, and looking for deviations. I mean, the main reason he's here is just with the weird things from last night, with this weird shimmer in the air above, when there's this sort of gathering of kind of loose and free magic.
Okay. Could you roll me an intellect, please? Just straight up.
Sure.
Are you applying anything to this?
Well, I guess here's the question. I mean, if I had long enough for this to count as a planner with me observing my surroundings.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'll put that in as an asset. And then I will go ahead and spend. So put in one effort. Is there a difficulty on this, or do you want me to just roll it and you can let me know?
I'll let you know how much you know if you roll for me. Oh,
natural 20.
Oh my god. Okay, so you're looking, you can feel the amount of a nut. You don't have to look around. It's like you can
kind of hear them with the way I do.
You hear almost like whispers, chattering, almost like a song or a hum. And there are so many here. And you can definitely separate them from the magic that's in the air and in the vines. You can sense almost like a radiation of this magic that is coming off some of them. You can feel from where Matthias's show, it's almost like there's a haze in the air just from where he was in general. Like everyone's given off some sort of haze of magic coming from whether it's their Anuck way or they've performed something. And you can sense around that there's maybe one or two here on their own, and you do see that same monkey running through this market, like it's attracted to the focus of the magic that is here. It's such a tight energy. You don't sense anything from the sky. In fact, you sense, if you're looking towards the shimmer, you sense nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean no magic.
Right. Almost like a hole.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, it would be almost like when someone speaks to him that he kind of has, oh, yes, lovely evening. And looks like he's trying to pay attention.
But you came.
Oh, yes. How could I resist after meeting Deacon Marx's brother?
And he sort of gives a smile at that. Well, he's not here. Thank the gods, as he would say.
I would think not. Well, unless, well. Huh.
With all this around, his head would go bang.
Yes, but it also would give him plenty of opportunity.
To shout at people, that's it. This is a happy place. This is where we tell stories, enjoy food, drink, and others' company.
That is true.
I probably won't hear from him until tomorrow when I hand out more leaflets. Thank you, by the way, as he sort of looks to Nadi. It's worked a treat.
Well, it's good. Glad to be of help. Maybe next time make them that size too, and that way if they try to rip it, you just pull them down real fast, they can't reach.
Maybe I'll do that. But shall we go get some food or a drink or something?
Oh yeah, that would be a great idea. Paula should tell you all about this really incredible new dance she just did too.
And Nadia's gonna like fall back really quick and almost kind of do the now kiss thing and kind of push the two sort of together as she steps.
And he's like, oh yeah, come on, you should tell me about it. And he starts to walk off towards what looks to be more like the food and drinks section of this market. And you see lots of long tables, long wooden tables and long sort of stools that people are sat on.
Tolan's gonna like just raise an eyebrow and look at Charlie as she is sort of standing around.
Listening intently. Like,
Yeah.
I think over the course of like the story and stuff, she probably finished this like food and like cleaned her hands and whatnot. But just been kind of like listening to, somehow this feels like a puzzle to her, and like people knowing each other, and so it's more just piqued her curiosity than anything else. But as soon as people are kind of walking away, and I guess Matthias didn't really get introduced, she tries to like fade off into not really the crowd, but almost in a like following Aggie sort of way.
Yeah. You see Aggie is heading towards the food and drink section anyway, because she was looking for whiskey. But you can see her by a stool talking to about 3 or 4 people who seem to be also with a whiskey. You're pretty sure she doesn't know them.
As soon as I like see her, Charlie would like to wander. I'm not sure if she will get to do that. That is the intention, and she like slowly moves away.
Yeah, Tolan again with sort of the Nadi's push the two of them together. sort of probably look to try to like almost sort of like raise an eyebrow at Charlie, kind of seeing this if Charlie saw the same thing that Tolan saw, and if she's already sort of wandered, I think Tolan will probably two things. One, if everyone sort of seems staying together, he'll just sort of hover along behind. But if we're gonna take a moment and while we wait for our DM to return. Hydration. It's a wonderful
It's
thing.
key. It's very important.
It's very important.
It's where all the good ideas come from.
It's where all the good ideas come from. I know. But anyway, oh my gosh, can you believe this? The market.
Oh, it's so cool.
I want to go
love
there
it.
now. I feel like such a Veruca salt. Like, I want to go now, Daddy.
No.
Oh God, it's so.
And I'm just sort of seeing like the water and the canals being all phosphorescent as well with the plants underneath the water, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like this needs to be an actual true boob place, and like we go there and we stay there, and it's so gorgeous.
Make a Ren fair like this.
And the people are gorgeous too.
Right? Just the whole thing. Jeez Louise.
I want to live in Alice's head.
I know, right?
And she's back.
No worries.
Sorry.
All good.
Okay.
But so yeah, Tolan, I think if everyone's staying together, he'll like try to sort of just hover on the outside of the group to be a part of the group. But if it seems like people are sort of splitting in a little bit different directions or sort of pairing off or making little smaller groups, Tolan might go, I think he might sort of try to keep an eye out for the monkey to see what's happening with that.
You can watch this monkey, and this monkey, you see it's actually drawn to where Matthias was, and you can probably suspect from the amount of magic that just came off of Matthias. And you see it sort of as if it's sniffing the air, and it's on its two back legs. It's sort of running from person to person, and it looks a little more faint than the last time you saw it, like more see-through than anything. And it seems to go from person to person looking up. It even runs across one person's shoulder, but it's not really noticed by the person.
Mm-hmm.
You just see it wandering here and there.
Tolan will sort of crouch down and see if he can get its attention.
Okay, are you reaching out to it?
Not reaching out to it as much as just, knowing that it might be in distress, sort of squat down and just try to catch its eye and see if it might, if it sees that Tolan is seeing it and paying attention to it.
You crouch down and it wanders from person to person. You see it almost tugging on clothing, and its hand seems to go through a lot of it. And it's frantically looking around, and it sort of looks at you as you catch its eye, and it pauses and almost cautiously, noticing you have noticed it, you see it hesitantly wander over to you, almost like in a sideways walk, and it's almost like playing with its fingers as it approaches you, but doesn't come right up to you. But it's noticed you have noticed it, and it's sort of approaching you.
I look around to see if anyone, especially if our group, is watching me.
Is anyone?
I've been sort of like around and looking back around to see if anyone was following me. I didn't see Tolan. Maybe looked down, and it's just like odd.
Yeah, it's more of an odd scene than anything. As you
Yeah.
do this monkey almost hesitantly umming and ahhing, sort of shifting where it stands, looking at Tolan. I'm pretty sure Paula's distracted.
Paula is
Oh,
in
yeah.
another world right now.
Nandi
Well-
would have been paying attention, but curiously quiet and just sort of standing off to the side watching.
Okay.
I think Tolan sort of looks around and just sort of starts speaking to the monkey. Are you lost?
It's
Sort of seemingly soothingly speaking at it. Where's your bond gone, little one?
and you see it chatter a little bit, like it chatters slightly, and it sort of has its hands on top of its head very, very briefly before just coming a little bit closer to you, suddenly realizing you are communicating with it, almost.
And when I realize that my voice is sort of, it's listening, he kind of looks, and I'm going to do just a quick perception to see if I see them
Mm-hmm.
looking, and just to color this a little bit. A 19.
God, you all roll so well. So what is it you're looking for, sorry?
Just how subtle he's going to be. So actually, I'm going to say this more about how subtly he is going to be doing what he does.
Who's Colin?
How subtle Tullen is going to do this, knowing that he's already gotten the monkey's attention a little bit. He sort of whispers to it, "In some time." He sort of clears his throat. Shani Hane. Shani Hane. Hoi Quareni Refatrenu. Hoi Quahane Shani Reni Rafetrenu. As he starts to speak directly to the Inanagwe.
And as you do this monkey sort of relaxes its hands and lets it drop, and it sort of, for the first time on all fours, sort of starts running towards you and just rests its two hands where, sort of like on your leg where you've crouched down, as it's sort of looking up at you as you are effectively singing to it.
And I try to gather from it whether its bond has perished, whether they were somehow separated, how it came to find itself alone.
You reach out to this Inakwe as it sort of hugs the side of your leg, sort of rests its head, and you can tell that its bond has probably died. And now it's wandering until it fades. And it's confused, it doesn't know where its bond is. It's almost like it's not quite accepted the death of its bond and is trying to find it out of confusion. But it's almost like with that song, it's realized it's sort of centered it, and it's coming to you for comfort, even though it knows you're not its bond.
So Tolan continues to sort of hum under its breath and sort of explain to it that its bond has died, but that all magic of this world is renewed. It is a perpetual cycle. And explained to him that it was why it was drawn here, that the season tree is connected. It's this connected font of magic, and for that it can stay and enjoy the celebration for as long as it likes, but when it decides it's time to leave, or to go to the tree and run up into its branches so that it can become one, and maybe one day have another bond.
And it pauses and it looks up with you with these very round eyes, and you can see it fading and fading. But you do feel its small paws like settle on you as it looks at you, almost like you feel the understanding there. And it holds onto one of your fingers briefly before darting off. And you see it run through this crowd as it starts to run up the tree, climb up, sort of weaving in between this isn't just one solid trunk. This almost looks like as if vines have fixed and sort of interlaced with each other. And you can see that light coming through some of the cracks as that tree sighs again. As you see this monkey run up into the tree, and as it does, it fades a little more and a little more before it disappears. It's up into the branches.
Tolan sort of brushes off his coat, sort of gives a sigh, and actually does a little sort of toast towards the tree and takes a big long swig, and sort of almost like an old man, sort of patting down his jacket to make sure he has everything, looks and spots Aggie and sort of goes to rejoin the group.
What does everyone else do?
Excuse me, Mr. Tolan, sir.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. I made your terrarium.
And she holds up this little terrarium that has these metallic sides to it, and like one panel clear glass, and there's this darkish purple succulent in the center of it.
I know you kind of seemed a little down last night, so I thought maybe I'd give you a little something to pay attention to.
Thank you, Nadi. This is quite a gift.
You're welcome. You're kind of like an onion, you know.
Welcome to the academy.
You have lots of layers.
And she'll just walk away.
He kind of questions about that, and then it's kind of like, valid.
Right now, Paula is chit-chatting away. As they were walking away from the group, Paula was probably turned to Matthias and was like, "Oh, so I heard Talon mention that the deacon's your brother. You didn't mention that before."
Oh, sorry, should I have done? I don't normally like to be associated with him, you know?
I'm just a little concerned if you stop by the library tomorrow, you might have to deal with him.
I have been dealing with him my entire life. I'm fine.
If you say so. I mean, he didn't seem that bad. Like, he seemed grumpy, but...
And he leans forward. He's like, "You're not the magic user."
Yeah. I'm still like... It's still hard for me to judge people when I haven't been treated a certain way, but I understand that when they're treating other people a certain way, I have to address that.
Oh, you make your own judgments.
Sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around, but...
You make your own judgments. If he treats you well, you treat him well. When he treats me bad, I'll treat him bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Something to think about. But enough about your brother. He's not the one that I'm standing next to right now.
And Matthias pauses and looks a little awkward. Like, he gives a side glance. You don't have a problem with magic, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. Good.
I work at... I was just going to say that I work on the magic side of the academy, so I'm around magic all the time. And a lot of my students are magic users. In fact, all of them are.
That's fantastic. I've all magic users in one place.
You've never been to the academy?
Oh no, I grew up at a small village outside of here. I didn't come here too much later.
Wait, you came from outside of the city?
Yeah, just a small village down the road. It's quite boring, actually.
I've never left the city before.
What, never?
Never. I want to so bad. There's probably like all kinds of crazy stuff out there.
Well, my village isn't crazy, but there's some nice stuff out there. I mean, I came here because I like the city. But there's lots out there. There's mountains, there's valleys, there's,
There's like grass fields.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that, yeah.
Oh, I read about those in books. I've read about...
Never been to a valley?
Well, does it count when you're between like the east end is kind of elevated and like the north end is kind of like
a grass valley?
Nope.
Well, that's got to change. And he sort of almost frowns. He looks quite upset that you haven't seen a valley. He's like, then maybe you should. It's a beautiful thing, don't get me wrong, boring after a while, but it is a beautiful thing.
When you were a kid, did you like do that thing where you lay down on the grass at the top of the hill and then roll on your side down to the bottom of the hill?
You haven't?
No.
And again, he looks quite sad. He's like, you should. It's fun. You mean you've never seen, like, it's like he's processing so many things you must have not seen if you haven't seen this place. He's like,
oh my gosh.
Okay, then.
I've read about all of this in books.
Okay, there's so many places you have to go. And he starts like chattering off about them. He's like, I'll make you a list. I can show you some of them when I've got time. As he sort of offers a seat, as he pulls one of the stools out by the tables, and you can see Aggie sort of shuffling her way over to this place and sort of pulls the stool out and sits down opposite both of you.
Hi.
So, wrong voice. So, who are you? Because I know this man, as she sort of gestures to Matthias.
Oh, I'm Paula. You must be Aggie.
Ah, reputation. Yes, that's me. And she sort of quickly puts down her whiskey and holds out her hand.
I've heard all about you and your bookshop.
Yes, I have a bookshop. I do. You should come and see it sometime. It's a lovely bookshop.
I'd love to browse one day and maybe add some to the library collection. I work at the library at the university.
And she looks so happy about this. She's like, well, that's just fantastic. Because she sort of knocks back the last of this whiskey before sort of holding the glass out and like gesturing to someone to fill it up for her. So, we will have to talk about this library at some point. Maybe I could come visit. I mean, they'll let me in.
Yeah. No, they let everyone in. Oh wow, we're gonna have a full house. So there's a lot of visitors. Oh gosh. I mean, maybe if I have too many.
I went to the academy. Of course, they'll let me in.
Oh, you did go to the academy. Cool.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't get to go in that library.
Right. Of course. Yeah. No, I mean, same here. I went on the other side. So like
And-
twinning. But maybe we could talk about that when I go to visit you another day. That's not now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's the others. Colin. Like as she sort of reaches back, you see her pull Averick down onto the side. I think like he looks like he's been dragged down as he comes over with another glass of whiskey and puts it in front of her. And where is Tolan and the D right now?
I mean, I was sort of trying to head over to, sort of from where I was at the stage, then heading over towards where Aggie where Aggie's holding court, and sort of got intercepted by Nadie, and then I guess I would just keep walking, whether we're walking together or no, you walked away. So then Tolan would, again, he's got these deep pockets. He would probably put it like on his inside pocket, like a special pocket that he got that, and then sort of realize his mug is empty now, having probably drained it after what he did with the Inanagwe. And so swing by real quick for that drop off, the switch out, drop off, pickup, and then head to where Aggie is. I also think he's probably going to see, since there's probably not actually waiters here, with Aggie with her glass up, grab hers, get her another whiskey. And
Yeah, you see Averick.
he's a good friend that way.
Averick will quickly follow you over to the drinks thing, and he smiles and puts like an arm on your shoulder, and he's like, I'm really glad you came out tonight. He looks a bit tipsy. Not like in a drunk way. He's just happy. He's not. He's just like, I'm really glad you came out tonight.
I am too. It's been too long.
The beer is good. The food is good. And there's other people to distract Aggie as he sort of looks over at the table.
I figure if we just keep her with whiskey and people to keep talking at, we might be off the hook.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably have to walk her home, but yeah.
You're a good man.
A
brave soul.
one. As he
Yes.
sort of laughs. And
Yes.
indeed, you can join the table.
Well,
And yeah, carry on. Sorry, Tom.
I was just sort of saying, and you are going to have so much fun when Clyde decides to say hello to Jeremy and Jemima.
Oh, I forgot about that. As he sort of just like rubs his.
And I just sort of pat him a little bit too hard on the back, like he's been doing me, and just sort of walk over there. You volunteered.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Okay. And he sort of, Nadie, you can join the table. You can see Paula sort of talking to Matthias, and you have to weave through this. The crowd is big. Like you get a lot of people bump into you here, like sorry, as you come and sit down at this table. And same with you, Charlie. There's lots of people bumping into you. You see your friend where you live. You can see that snake sort of weaving in between people as you see Sam. You see your friend as he waves. He seems to be stood with a group of people with a drink, and he just gives you sort of a nod. Doesn't want you to be dragged into it or anything.
Yeah.
And could you make me an intellect check, please?
Okay. I will say, now that it's getting busier, I was looking for a wheeler. Oh, there it is. Okay. As I was kind of off the path, or not really off the path, but I was looking for a sort of out of the way spot, and just for a little bit, just went like, okay, all right. And drown out some noise for a little bit, but still like looking around.
You you can sit beneath the season tree. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people gathered by the season tree, but you can sit and look up into its branches, and you see some Inuk way up there, but mainly the lights and the leaves you can see them changing. They've been a bright green and yellow all day, and they're gradually, as if colors running through them, gradually turning to that orange and that red. As you sit there with your headset on, your headphones sort of clamped over your ears, and you feel very calm, very quiet. And you just feel for a moment that you're aware of everything around you, and you have control. Everything is just calm. You do, however, feel something in your pocket, and you suspect maybe everything was too much around you for you to notice. With so many people bumping into you, maybe not noticing that someone's slipped something into your pocket.
I'll take a look.
It is a piece of paper folded up, and a scribble on the front that just says Charlie, and you recognize Miles's handwriting.
I like sit bolt upright and look around, and I don't know if I see anything, but I'm looking for him exactly.
There is no one around. You can't see Miles. You can't see anyone of notice. You do see Aaron just sort of, again, like almost like he's checking on you, give you a little bit of a wave, but again turns back to his drink.
I think she's kind of desperate is the wrong word, but feeling it enough right now that she's gonna like open up to as much as she can hear and see if she can pick up anyone familiar.
You open up. Let's have a look. You roll me an intellect, please.
Let's Yes, nice.
It's almost like there's a residue left on this note that's this folded in half piece of paper. And it's not that you know who it is, or maybe you can sense. It's more that you're picking up the energy around it. As you know, someone has... it's like you feel all of a sudden that bump on your shoulder, that person who knocked into you. You feel them as they would have left the market and headed in a direction you would have known well, down to the lower levels.
I think as she was starting to feel this, she got up and started going in that direction, but then once she realized where it was going, that definitely gave her pause. And she's just standing there, like, weighing options and kind of just turning this piece of paper over in her hands. Not really paying attention to much else around her.
Do you open the note?
Oh, yeah. No, I thought that's all that was written on it. Okay. I'm opening the note.
It says Charlie on the front, and it's
okay.
Paper. And you can slide this paper open, and it's just a very short sentence. That's it, in that writing. It says, "Ghosts can't just disappear." And that is where we will leave Doors of Dunera this week. Everyone good?
Amazing episode. That was such a thick episode. Like,
Oh,
Thick double C.
it was so juicy. There was so much good content.
I've changed that good content.
Is it Friday yet? Is it Monday after that?
Right?
Other
I
than
can't
that,
wait to rewatch.
I know, right?
can I have some more?
we are going to head over to the Discord, and I would love to hear chat's favorite bits as well as our own. Other than that, please check out all the links popping up in chat right now. Please remember to follow these beautiful people because I love them to bits. So please go and check them out. And also a huge thank you to our sponsors, Bell in the Storm, one of the Straw School. Go check them out. Look at that. Look at that perfect coffee sized mug. Like, so my head.
I use my arm.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Dying. That
Oh
is
my
a good
God.
sized mug.
that means my head's the same.
Well, hello there.
Go and check them out, and also our other sponsors in the form of Mage Ham Press. So other than that, I can't wait for next Monday, and I will see you in the Discord. And keep evoking emotions, everyone, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.